Please join us in singing the welcome song.
I need to get that close.
Good morning. Welcome to Chalice Unitarian Universalist Congregation. Today is a day of celebration. We celebrate the beginning of our 2024-2025 church year. We celebrate another year of coming together as a congregation that chooses to unite our diverse beliefs and experiences with love. A congregation that nurtures a liberal religious spirit, a congregation made up of those who act on their faith by service to the community. Whether online or in person this morning, thank you for joining our ingathering, our water ritual, and our special celebration to honor musician Tim McKnight for his 20 years of service to Chalice. I'm Julia Fogel, the worship associate today. Our service is led by our minister, Reverend Sharon Wylie. Our worship musician this morning is Tim McKnight, and our song leaders are Celestina and Rip Pena. Our tech team is Hope Campbell and Jake Diak. Our greeters are Ron Petzel and Donna Folberg. So thanks to the whole team this morning. Our celebration today is one of our monthly all-church worship services where adults and children worship together in ritual and story, moving our bodies and celebrating the joys of our community. Children are always welcome in our services. And we also have a Sunday morning program for children that our Director of Family Ministries, Kathleen Swift, would love to talk to you about. And parents, if you need a break from your littlest ones, childcare is available in the nursery room in the Hub building across the patio. Please feel free to wear a mask or step outside as needed for your comfort. Also know that you can hear what is happening inside while you are outside on the courtyard. And if you would like an order of service, one is available by scanning the QR code on the greeter table or on the ends of the chairs and the little pieces of paper here in the chapel. We are always delighted to see newcomers joining us in worship. As a newcomer, you might be interested in the groups and activities we offer. These can be found in our email newsletter and e-news calendar. Online newcomers will receive an email invitation to join our email list after the service. In-person newcomers, if you haven't already given us your email address when you signed in, we invite you to share it before you leave. Our weekly email is the best way to get information about the many groups and activities we offer. Now, let's take a breath together. Reverend Sharon will begin our service by lighting our chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. The flaming chalice was first used during World War II by the Unitarian Service Committee as a symbol of life-saving refuge for people fleeing persecution in Europe. But today, it is a flame of celebration. As is our custom each month, we now honor the half dozen or so folks with birthdays. Those celebrating September birthdays are welcome to come forward or stay in your seats as you prefer while we sing the happy birthday song. Congratulations on achieving another year.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, we love you. Happy birthday, may all your dreams come true. When you blow out the candle, one light stays aglow. It's the love light in your eyes wherever you go.
Now I'd like to invite you to join me in the hand motions of our embodied affirmation. We are Unitarian Universalists, people of open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands.
Set. Okay. If my words did glow with the gold of sunshine, and my tunes were played on the harp unstrung, would you hear my voice come through the music? Would you it's a hand-me-down. The thoughts are broken. Perhaps they're better left unsung. I don't know. Don't really care. Let there be songs to fill the air. Ripple in still water where there is no pebble tossed nor wind to blow. Reach out your hand. If your cup be empty, if your cup is full, may it be again. Let it be known there is a fountain that was not made by the hands of men. There is a road, no simple highway between the dawn and the dark of night. And if you go, no one may follow. That path is for your steps alone. Ripple in still water when there is no pebble tossed nor wind to blow. You who choose to read must follow. But if you fall alone. If you should stand, then who's to guide you? If I knew the way, I would take you home. La da da da, everybody. La da 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 da. La da la da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da da da. La da 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 da.
The words of our call to worship come from the Reverend Molly Hausch Gordon. We gather together this morning tenderly, like drops of dew on a leaf of grass, hopefully, like gathered raindrops in a cloud, gleefully, like water rushing in a stream to the sea, deeply, like groundwater pulled up from a well. We gather from every direction for another year of growth and depth, another year of companionship and hope, another year of learning to love this world. We gather like the water that joins us across all of creation, the water that connects us within and without, merging and flowing across the entire world. You're invited to rise in body or spirit to join in singing.
Please be seated.
Whenever we gather together, there will be those among us who are joyful with happy news, as well as those who are grieving or in distress. We honor both as they ebb and flow through our lives. Our congregants online are welcome to share joys and sorrows with each other in the chat box, and also light your own candle at home. Here in the chapel, Reverend Sharon will lead us in singing as you come forward and light a candle as a symbol of your joy or sorrow this morning. Parents, please assist your children with lighting.
I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got pain like an arrow, I've got pain like an arrow, I've got pain like an arrow in my soul. I've got pain like an arrow, I've got pain like an arrow, I've got pain like an arrow in my soul. I've got tears like the raindrops, I've got tears like the raindrops, I've got tears like the raindrops in my soul. I've got tears like the raindrops, I've got tears like the raindrops, I've got tears like the raindrops in my soul. I've got strength like a mountain, I've got strength like a mountain, I've got strength like a mountain in my soul. I've got strength like a mountain, I've got strength like a mountain, I've got strength like a mountain in my soul. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got pain like an arrow. I've got pain like an arrow. I've got pain like an arrow in my soul. I've got pain like an arrow. I've got pain like an arrow. I've got pain like an arrow in my soul. Let's end with love. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. All right. So some of you may remember, hopefully, that this past March, we voted as a congregation on our favorite animal, and the winner, after voting in 6 rounds over 5 weeks, the winner was otter. At that time, we knew we wanted to learn more about otters, and particularly what we could do to promote and support their flourishing. Now, as luck and coincidence would have it, today's annual water ritual service, which we time here at Chalice to coincide with fall equinox, which is today, today happens to fall at the start of Sea Otter Awareness Week. For you all who are atheists and never understand how the rest of us think, it's this kind of thing. All right, so Sea Otter Awareness Week starts today. The week ahead holds many opportunities for learning more about sea otters, and many of these events and activities will happen online via live stream on Zoom or YouTube. So you'll get some written information about that in a bit, and an email will go out with links this afternoon. So let me tell you a bit about what we've been learning about sea otters. Sea otters are what's called a keystone species. Meaning they have disproportionate impact on their environment. They are found in the shallow coastal waters of the North Pacific, from the coasts of California and Washington up to Alaska. As top predators, they're apex predators, sea otters are critical to maintaining the balance of near-shore ecosystems, such as kelp forests, embayments, and estuaries. Without sea otters, sea urchins can overpopulate the seafloor and devour the kelp forests that provide cover and food for other marine animals. By maintaining healthy kelp forests, sea otters indirectly help to reduce levels of atmospheric carbon dioxide, a prevalent greenhouse gas, as kelp absorbs and sequesters carbon. Sea otters were hunted to near extinction in the 18th and 19th centuries. They finally gained protection with the signing of the International Fur Seal Treaty of 1911. And in the 1970s, they received additional safeguards under the Marine Mammal Protection Act and the Endangered Species Act. Their current status is threatened. So before the fur trade, then their natural habitat, sea otters as a species ranged more or less continuously along the North Pacific Rim from Hokkaido, Japan, all the way down to Baja California, Mexico. Worldwide, sea otters have slowly recovered and reached high numbers in some areas of their historical range. Southern sea otters, which would be the ones we hope to see someday, southern sea otters, however, only inhabit about 13% of their former range. So their habitat currently extends as far south as Santa Barbara County. But we can hope that with time, they may continue to move farther south and eventually down to San Diego and further. So to learn more about otters, we have a video from an organization called Sea Otter Savvy. Their mission, we have found a lot of different, we're finding in researching this, I've learned to look really closely at what an organization's mission is, right? So like some organizations are just doing advocacy and legislative work. Some organizations are doing like clean up the beach work. There's like a whole range of things. Sea Otter Savvy's mission is to reduce human-caused disturbance to sea otters and to promote responsible wildlife viewing. So this is a song about keeping your distance if you spot sea otters in the water. And really, we should keep our distance anytime we spot an animal in its natural habitat, remembering that we're the intruders and we're the ones causing disruption. So I'd like to invite the children to come up front to watch this a bit closer, and anyone else who would like to come forward.
Thousands, but they took us away. We were hunted for our thick fur, so we found shelter off the coast of Big Sur. We're descendants from these ancestors, living along Central California's shores, restoring coastlines thrown out of whack. Ocean life is thriving now that we are back. You gotta slow down, you're getting too close. Gotta back up and move your boat. You see me look, that's when you know to give me spaces I float. Spaces I float. I'm an apex predator, living at the top. Gotta work all day, I just can't stop. Eating urchins, mussels, clams, crabs, and snails. Gotta keep eating just to get my fill. Now eelgrass beds and kelp forests can thrive. They need our help to stay alive. It's true. Sing along with us so you know what to do. You gotta slow down, you're getting too close. Gotta back up and move your boat. You see me look, that's when you know to give me spaces I float. Spaces I float. Whoa, please don't point your boat right at us. Pass parallel to the side of us. 5 boat lengths, please, so we can live in peace. Got lots of fur to keep myself warm, but I got no blubber, so my food gets transformed to energy, so I can can do what otters do, and I've got no energy to waste on you. If you see my head raised, it means I'm alert. I don't have extra energy to exert, so please don't force me to swim away. It gets so tiresome throughout the day. You gotta slow down, you're getting too close. Gotta back up and move your boat. You see me look, that's when you know. Give me spaces I float. Spaces I float, and that will make us so happy. Spaces I float. Now you can be sea otter savvy today.
Lot in that video I do want to lift up, because it's actually an important point, that they don't have blubber. And so they, think of them as a little bit like hummingbirds. They have to keep eating. They don't have stores of fat the way some other aquatic mammals do. So I have a present for everybody that I hope you guys will help me hand out. So we have some requests to make or encourage, and when I say we formed a little Otters and Oceans task force. So that was me and Julie Bin and Deb Kuhn. And so the best way we can support otters is by protecting the ocean where they live. And there's lots of ways we can do that. But it can feel overwhelming. We've started to hear a lot in the past several years about ocean trash, which is one of the big issues. And that can feel overwhelming, like it's trillions of, it's overwhelming. So what I wanted to give everybody was, do you know what this is?
A puzzle piece.
A puzzle piece, because no one of us can clean up all the trash in the ocean. But if we all do our part, we're one piece of a puzzle of helping solve this big problem. So can you help hand these out for everybody to get one? Okay, so this might take a few minutes with these helpers. Yeah, take a handful and pass them down. We have enough for everybody.
No, that's right. Go to the next row.
Yeah. I think that's one of the, we've talked in other services, one of the big challenges of our times is not to feel overwhelmed. And especially these kind of issues, it's like voting, where our one thing we're going to do isn't going to change everything, and we're not going to see an immediate result. But we have to keep before us the importance of each of us doing our part. So I hope you'd take these home and put them on an altar or a place where you see it. You can write things on it if you want to. So of ocean trash, 90% of it is plastic. That's why we're hearing so much about plastic these days. And there's probably a variety of reasons for that, but part of it is that birds pick up pieces of trash and carry them around for their nests and things. So when I was in the Galapagos Islands, where they're paying very close attention to all of these issues, we were on a little dinghy and they spotted some pieces of plastic on a bird's nest, and we just stopped what we were doing and people worked to get those pieces of plastic out of there. So it's such a pristine environment that they're paying a lot of attention to. But it was a great illustration of how, how could plastic get up on this cliff? A bird dragged it up there for its nest. So I have another handout. I might ask some grown-ups to help. So we have a handout that, again, the Otters and Oceans Task Force put together. So we'd really like to encourage each person in the congregation to be doing at least just one thing to help support otters through protecting our oceans. And so we have a little list of suggestions. Thank you. You want to hang out up here? There's another story coming up in a minute. So there's a list of suggestions. One of them is that we're going to join a beach cleanup day on Saturday, November 2nd in Oceanside. This is coordinated by the Surfrider Foundation. So there's information about that on this handout, and again, you'll get an email about it. And then some suggestions for reducing plastic, suggestions for researching sustainable seafood. Thank you so much. If you eat seafood, and maybe to check out your pets, what your pets are eating, and look at those ingredients lists. That's another place to pay attention to what seafood's being used. Then we have some information about Sea Otter Awareness Week and the link you can go to look up what's coming up. And then we found so many organizations with these very different missions. So on the back of the handout is a list of organizations and some of capturing what their purpose and mission is. So we selected one for our, can I ask for folks to, yeah. We selected one for our collection today, but there's many other organizations that might interest you. So we wanted to get those to you. And also on your handout then is some Post-it notes. So we're hoping you'll take some moments to reflect on something you're willing to do. And maybe it's something you're already doing. Maybe you look at this list of things and go, I already don't use plastic straws. I already am not using plastic beverage bottles. So we're not here to pressure you to do more if you're already doing your part. So feel free to write down something you're already doing, but to use those Post-it notes just to jot some words down, and we'll have a place to drop them off when you come up for water ritual. So we just love for you to set some intention about thinking something you're willing to try. Again, I really came back from the Galapagos Islands thinking a lot more about plastic, and I've started making my own yogurt so I don't have to buy yogurt in a plastic tub. So that's my thing. We're also doing a lot of pickle tasting at my house so we can start buying pickles in a jar instead of the plastic tub pickles we've been getting. So some of these things take some attention and effort. Some of them might seem easy. But if you're doing all of the things, we hope you'll come to the November 2nd beach cleanup for us to take part of that as a congregation. And we've also invited our Unitarian Universalist congregations in Vista and in Solana Beach to join us that day. So hopefully we'll have a good UU turnout. So oceans are not the only kind of water that needs protection. And for our folks online, I'll mail you a piece of the puzzle so you have one for your home as well. So we have a story about protecting water in a different part of the country where we're not talking about oceans specifically, but water everywhere needs our attention and our protection. So now our story.
Our story today is We Are Water Protectors, written by Carol Lindstrom and illustrated by Michaela Goad. Carol Lindstrom is an Anishinaabe Métis and is a proud member of the Turtle Mountain Band of Ojibwe Indians. Michaela Goad is from the Raven Moiety and Kiks-Adi clan from Sitka, Alaska. Water is the first medicine, Nokomis told me. We come from water. It nourished us inside our mother's body, as it nourishes us here on Mother Earth. Water is sacred, she said. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. The river's rhythms run through my veins, run through my people's veins. My people talk of a black snake that will destroy the land, spoil the water, poison plants and animals, wreck everything in its path. When my people first spoke of the black snake, they foretold that it wouldn't come for many, many years. Now the black snake is here. Its venom burns the land, courses through the water, making it unfit to drink. Take courage. I must keep the black snake away from my village's water. I must rally my people together to stand for the water, to stand for the land, to stand as one against the black snake. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. It will not be easy. We fight for those who cannot fight for themselves, the winged ones, the crawling ones, the four-legged, the two-legged, the plants and trees, rivers and lakes. The earth, we are all related. Tears like waterfalls stream down, tracks down my face and tracks down my people's faces. Water has its own spirit, Nokomis told me. Water is alive. Water remembers our ancestors who came before us, she said. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. We are stewards of the earth. Our spirits have not been broken. We are water protectors. We stand. And the black snake is in for the fight of its life.
We are water. In Unitarian Universalist practice, the water ritual in its first incarnation was held in 1980 at the Women and Religion Continental Convocation of Unitarian Universalists in East Lansing, Michigan. It was a ritual to celebrate women's shared experience, interdependence, and connection to the totality of life. It has evolved since then, no longer a ritual just for women, and is often observed in many of our UU congregations as water communion. It marks the resumption of regular church programs after a summer break. The church year echoes the school year. Here at Chalice, this annual water ritual coincides with the fall equinox, which is today, and marks the changing seasons. We are water. Like rivers, sometimes we flow and bend. Like ice, sometimes we freeze and break. Like vapor, sometimes we disappear. All life comes from the sea. All life is water. We are water. You bring yourself here on Sundays and other days. You give of yourself here. You bring your gifts and talents. You give generously. You bring open hearts and open minds. You give time. You give attention. We are all pieces of a puzzle that help make our Chalice life possible. So this morning, you are invited to mark the many ways you give of yourself here by pouring water into a shared bowl, the gathering of community. If you are a first-time visitor or new to the congregation, I especially want to invite you to participate. You have given time and energy to be here, and you too are part of the gathered community this morning. If you did not bring water with you, we have water at the table at the chapel double doors you can use. And if you prefer not to come forward, you might ask a neighbor to pour water for you. So this is also a time to bring up your Post-it notes with, so you'll need to take a moment to write down something you're committed to doing or trying or letting us know what you are already doing. And because we're a little pressed for space, where the Post-it notes will be collected, David Peel has a little poster board, and he'll stand over by the double doors, so you can drop your Post-it notes there before or after you contribute your water. And our online congregants, I invite you to stay with us, but later after the service, I hope you will pour some water in a plant inside or outside your home, and think of the many ways that you give of yourself to our Chalice community. You are invited to come forward.
Please join in Body or Spirit. We'll be singing hymn 299, Make Channels for the Streams of Love. Please be seated.
As president of the Board of Trustees of Chalice UU Congregation, it is my great pleasure to honor our music director, Tim McKnight, for 20 years of service to Chalice. So we have a few things to present to Tim. First, however, we have a proclamation to make. Oh. Okay. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. In honor of his 20 years of dedicated service, bringing exceptional music to worship services, Chalice Cabaret, auction concerts, and many other musical events, we, the congregants and staff of Chalice Unitarian Universalist Congregation, declare today, Sunday, September 22nd, 2024, Tim McKnight Day. And this proclamation is signed by a few of your fans. So we'll take some time to look at that a little later on. Maybe. We'll have someone roll that back up for you. So we have a few things for you. First, we have, actually, here, let's put this here. And if you could hold that. We have, it's in here. Our 20-year service award to present to you. And we have gifts from the congregation. Open it, yes. Suspicious. Mm.
Can you help me?
Yes, I can. There you go.
Okay.
are the,
Batteries. Oh, there's something else in there.
I think they're the batteries that go for what's in this box, I believe.
Okay. Battery charger. Oh boy.
Okay. Trade you.
Something that requires batteries.
Okay.
Very
Should
well
have had a
timed.
rehearsal for this.
Oh, we're doing improv. This is all improv. Yeah. Is it ever?
Okay then.
Yes. Good.
So this is a Zoom. It's a different Zoom than what most of you think of. It's a 4-track recorder, recording device, Zoom recorder, which is the best brand of recording devices ever. 32-bit float 4-track recorder. Thank you very much. I will use this next time.
We'll put these back in the
I will be using that all the
bag
time. Thank you so much.
for you. And I'll turn it over to Susan Sklar for additional presentations.
Well, in the absence of our music chairperson, who is traveling the North American continent at the moment, I, as money manager for the music program, and Tim's money nemesis, every time money comes up, he goes, oh, money. But today, I get to present from the music committee a gift certificate for you and a card with much affection and appreciation for all that you do. Thank you.
So it says, Tim, thank you for your leadership for 20 years. It has enriched all of our lives from the music committee. Thank you so much. It's wonderful. And then this is a gift certificate to Allen's Music Center. Oh, have you been to Allen's Music Center? If you have not been there in La Mesa, it's my favorite place to get music. I always have to put half of my bag, like half of what I picked out, away before I leave because I have this huge pile of music. So thank you very much that I'm going to go tomorrow. And actually, if you could get this over quick, I think they might still be open. So. Reverend Sharon said I had to give a thank you speech. So, but I just wanted to first thank Reverend Sharon and the music committee and the Tim's 20th Anniversary Task Force, which is a real thing. With Callie Leaf is the chair of that task force. Thank you for putting this all together today. When I moved to San Diego in 2004, the longest job that I'd ever had at that time was my web designing work-study job in college, which I worked off and on for maybe 5 or 6 years. Never did I imagine working anywhere for a decade, or let alone 2 decades. And yet, in the blink of an eye, here I am celebrating 20 years at Chalice. I've been the music director here for 42% of my life. I've worked here longer than I lived at home with my parents growing up, and in many ways, you've all had just as much of an influence on me as my parents did. Growing up in an abusive household with parents that could barely stand to be around each other did not translate into a safe and loving environment. So in many ways, Chalice has been the first place that I felt safe, accepted and loved for who I am. Loved in spite of my very long list of imperfections and flaws.
The safe environment you created here provided space for me to work on becoming a better person. It would have been more ideal if I had done all of that work before I got here. Granted, I'll concede that, but I really didn't have the opportunity. So when we say our Chalice family, it's profoundly true for me. To prepare for this little speech, I decided to go back and read my self-evaluations and year-in-review staff reports over the last 20 years. It started as just sort of a fun little exercise, but it turned out to be kind of enlightening. I can see my own evolution through those writings. For example, from 2014, which was my 10-year anniversary, I wrote, "As I complete my 10th year at Chalice, I am very grateful for the people who have made it possible for me to serve this congregation. I am proud of what I have done to bring out the gifts of the many Chalice musicians, and I feel a deep sense of fulfillment each time I see and hear them share those gifts. The older I get, the more I realize how important it is that I take care of myself so that I can be the best musician, teacher, music director, and human being that I possibly can be." Not bad for 10 years. Okay. Then in 2016 comes a sharp self-critique, as I wrote, "As always, I am not good with diplomacy and tact." Fast forward to 2020, a mere couple of months into the pandemic, when I wrote, "Over the 17 years I've been at Chalice, there have been many joys, sorrows, challenges, rewards, accomplishments, and an endless supply of life lessons to be learned. But nothing could ever compare to this year, 2020, a year which is just halfway through, a year which has managed to reshape daily existence, and which is easily the most challenging of my musical and professional life thus far. It has been over 5 months since my last in-person performance or worship service. That is the longest I've gone without some kind of performance since I was in first grade." And then the very next year, in 2021, I wrote, "Last year at this time, I was paralyzed by uncertainty, focusing entirely on what we had lost as a result of the pandemic. However, what I realized sometime in the late summer of 2020 is that people still need music. As much as or more than ever. The deep longing to continue experiencing music is still there, and I finally realized that it was my duty and obligation to figure out how to make that happen. This was a huge mental shift for me," unquote. I'll leave you with one last quote from my distant past, all the way back to 1993, as I was graduating high school. "For most of high school, I was the yearbook editor, and every summer, the faculty advisor, Mrs. Beam, and I would spend hours and hours every day for weeks on end finishing the yearbook, because nobody ever did the work during the school year. So it was just the two of us in the yearbook office. We sometimes had to create content if it wasn't already created. So the summer after my senior year, I interviewed myself for the yearbook. In that interview, I asked myself the following question: where do you see yourself 5 years from now? And my 17-year-old self's answer was, I want to make people's lives better through music. I hope that I've done that for you, Chalice.
Well, Tim McKnight has offered Chalice, as you've just heard, 20 years of musical leadership. And I need to get my other glasses. Forgot to switch. There we go. It is now time for us to make our Sunday offering. Today is a social justice Sunday when we donate our offering to a local organization that makes a difference in our larger community. And as you've heard earlier, this month our offering supports the Marine Mammal Center in Sausalito, California. The Marine Mammal Center advocates ocean health through marine mammal rescue and rehabilitation, research, and education. They provide care for rescued animals 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and answer more than 10,000 calls each year to their rescue hotline. They rescue and care for sea otters, as well as sea lions and seals. Their conservation efforts include attention to climate change, sustainable seafood, and ocean trash. There is information about this organization in that handout that you got earlier. So we encourage you to text your donation to Chalice. If you haven't donated by text before, once you text the amount, you'll get a reply with a link to enter your card information. The phone number for texting a donation will be on screen in a moment. If you prefer to make an in-person donation of cash or check, there are envelopes and a donation box to the left of the chapel double doors. You can leave this offering after the service. Regardless of how you donate, please be sure to indicate whether your donation is part of your pledge or social justice donation by including the words pledge or justice. Our offering music this morning is a special tribute to Tim, created by John Schultz and Kathleen Swift. As you enjoy their rendition of Piano Man, please keep in mind words by Maya Angelou. She says, "I have found that among its other benefits, giving liberates the soul of the giver." Please give generously.
Of all the gifts you bring us, Tim, I think the finest is your piano playing. You can play any style, you can sight read better than anyone I've ever known, and your taste is exquisite. Whatever the theme, whatever mood or feeling that you want to express, you pick the perfect piece and bring us along with you. On Sunday mornings, when you sit down at that piano, I close my eyes and I'm transported to whatever world you've chosen. Tim, you're the piano man.
Well, it's 9 a.m. on a Sunday. Regular crowd shuffles in. There's a young man at the baby grand. Everyone knows that it's Tim. The song leader runs in a panic. Tim, I haven't looked over the hymns. Can you teach them to me right now? Don't you see? In 2 minutes the service begins. Sing la-di-da. It happens. Play us a song, you're the piano man. Play us a song today. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody. You got us feeling that way. Now Tim at the keys, he's a friend of ours, and he brings out the music and all. But he likes to take chances as the tempo advances. Don't believe me? Ask Stuart and Paul. Sharon says, Tim, can you play me a melody? I'm not quite sure how it goes. Oh, but just follow me, and if that's not the right key, do that thing. What's it called? Oh yeah, transpose. Play us a song, you're the piano man. Play us a song today.
Well, it's a pretty good crowd for a Sunday. And the minister gives Tim a smile, 'cause she knows it's from you that the music comes through. It's magic and quite versatile. Tim is the kind of musician that brings out the glory of song, and he helps us to all feel connected, that each one among us belongs.
Well, I hope some of you texted an offering, but I wouldn't be surprised if you were too engrossed. It was so wonderful. But let us join in dedicating our offering with words of affirmation. We give to the work of Chalice congregation. Our work weaves the fabric of love called community. To this end, we dedicate ourselves and this our offering.
These blessing words are adapted from the story we heard earlier. We come from water. It nourished us inside our mother's body, and it nourishes us here on Mother Earth. We fight for those who cannot fight for themselves, the winged ones, the crawling ones, the four-legged, the two-legged, the plants, trees, rivers, and lakes, the earth. We are all related. We are stewards of the earth. Our spirits have not been broken. We are water protectors. May it be so. Amen and blessed be. And now Tim will introduce our final hymn.
My favorite hymn has always been It Is Well With My Soul, which features a tune written by Philip Bliss and words written by Horatio Spafford. Spafford penned the words of the hymn after a series of traumatic events in his life. The first was the Great Chicago Fire of 1871, which ruined him financially. 2 years later, his business interests were further hit by the economic downturn of 1873, and it was around this time that he and his family planned a trip to England on the French steamship Ville du Havre. In a late change of plans, Horatio sent his wife Anna and their 4 daughters, Annie, Maggie, Bessie, and Tanetta, ahead while he was delayed on business. On November 22, 1873, while crossing the Atlantic Ocean, the ship carrying Horatio's wife and 4 daughters sank rapidly after a collision with an iron sailing vessel. 226 people lost their lives, including all 4 Spafford daughters. Mother Anna survived and sent her husband Horatio a telegram which began with 2 simple words, "Saved alone." Shortly afterwards, as he traveled to England to meet his grieving wife, Horatio Spafford was inspired to write the following words as his ship passed the spot near where his 4 daughters had died. "When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul." It just so happens that It Is Well With My Soul was also the favorite hymn of Chalice's first settled minister, Reverend Margot McKenna. However, like so many traditional hymns, there were some lyrics that Margot felt were problematic for Unitarian Universalism. For her last service at Chalice before her retirement in June of 2010, the chancel choir sang an arrangement of It Is Well With My Soul with lyrics by Horatio Spafford and Margot McKenna, Reverend Margot McKenna. Margot retained many of the original lyrics and I believe improved the rest.
You're invited to rise and sing with us.
Sorrow
Please be seated.
Our closing words come from Influence, a poem by Joseph Norris. Drop a pebble in the water, and it ripples reach out far, and the sunbeams dancing on them may reflect them to a star. Give a smile to someone passing, thereby making his morning glad. It may greet you in the evening when your own heart may be sad. Do a deed of simple kindness, though its end you may not see. It may reach out like widening ripples down a long eternity. You are invited to close our time together by singing the well. After, please return to your seats for a postlude video and then an announcement.
friends, we have a new face. Let us welcome her into our little circle, Miss...
Rice.
Then suddenly the tune went false. The dancers wearied of the waltz. The shadows ceased to wheel and whirl. And down the long and silent street, the dawn with silver-sandaled feet crept like a frightened girl. Again.
David, you are so competitive.
You just hate to lose, Peter.
Shut up and deal.
Why do you always have to have the last word?
Do not.
Yes, you do.
Not.
See?
Sorry.
What big teeth you have, they're so sparkling white. I bet you hear this from all your food, but you must bleach at night. Is that a hint of minty freshness? Oh, I am scared to death. I like a girl with a dazzling smile and tic-tac on her breath. Oh, don't kill me, lady with the pretty teeth.
Run, free. Run, freedom, run. Run, freedom, run. Run, freedom, run. Freedom, run away. Freedom, run away. Freedom, run away. My friends, you have to run, 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 run. Freedom, run away. Freedom, run away.
Good morning. It's time for an auction awareness assessment. What is this year's auction theme? Monster. Woo, Monster Mash. What can you do now to prepare for the auction? Donate. Submit donations on the auction website, charityauction.bid/chaliceu. Buy dinner for two opportunity drawing entries and register if you haven't done so in the past. When is the online auction? Begins October 20th at 12 noon and ends on October 27th at 5 p.m. So please get your donations submitted before October 18, but the sooner the better. When is the live auction? October 26th, yes. What gets auctioned off at the live auction?
Stuff.
What stuff? Parties and events. While the online auction will have all the treasures, baskets, services, and the like, the live auction is reserved for events such as dinners and parties. We do need more dinners and parties, but you don't have to do them on your own. You can ask the auction team to suggest someone who might be interested in hosting with you. You can also check on open dates to hold your auction event with the auction team by email or with me on the patio after the service. There's even a calendar view on the auction website to see when auction events have already been scheduled. Besides being so much fun, dinners and parties are our greatest money makers. You could build a party around a monster theme, embrace your inner werewolf with a hearty, meaty meal, ward off vampires with a garlic-infused meal, follow Frankenstein's lead with a vegetarian-friendly meal. Apparently, Frankenstein's monster was a vegetarian. Bake a monster meal using recipes from Godzilla, the official cookbook. Or you can build your party around any other theme or no particular theme at all. And the live auction will be a party in itself. Besides bidding on dinners and other events, this family-friendly event will feature entertaining auctioneers, dancing, a costume contest for adults, and a costume parade, trick-or-treating, and crafts for the kids. So plan to be there in person or on Zoom on October 26. Questions? Ask the auction team, and don't forget to submit your donations as soon as you can. Thank you.
But wait, there's more. First, though, I have to give a huge thank you to the members of, and it really was a thing, Tim's 20th anniversary task force, because we had so many people interested in what we were going to do to celebrate, we had to form a task force. So the members are Reverend Sharon, Jessica Miller, Julia Fogel, Mary Bess, Laura Brown, Susan Sklar, David Peel, Kay Campbell, Mercedes Delgado, Sarah Shepard, Wendy Metzger, Kathleen Swift, Susan Spoto, John Schultz, Judy Wynn, Emma Peel, Natalia Metzger-Key, Hope Campbell, and me, Callie Lee. Thank you.
One person for every year, right? One person for every year.
Oh, maybe. Was that 20? Okay, so for the rest of today's festivities, in keeping with our ingathering and musical themes, when you depart the chapel, you receive a musical scavenger hunt form, and for each block you need to find someone who has done or participated in an activity that's listed and have them initial that block. For instance, has attended a music service at Chalice. Well, we've all done that, so you can put your own initial in there. Or performed a musical solo at Chalice. You have to find someone that's done a solo and have them initial. And when you get 2 columns, 2 rows, or the diagonals, or any combination filled out, you can go to the welcome table and get a sticker. Yay! There's also a music-themed piñata for the little ones, but we want Tim to hit it first. And of course, there's cake, and there will be a special fun reveal over by the refreshment table in a few minutes. Also, a lot of people have come today that we haven't seen in a while. If you did not get a chance to sign the scroll, I happen to have borrowed it back for a few minutes, and it will be out on the courtyard so that you can sign it if you haven't had a chance to do that yet. Great. That's it. Have fun. Thank you.